There's just like something a little disappointing about the shape. Girls are sitting a little bit low in this bra. The shorts were awesome. They stayed in place the whole workout, starting like the beginnings of pilling. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. And today we're reviewing a brand that I have known about since like before I started my fitness Instagram actually. The brand is Till You Collapse, and I don't know what has taken me so long to finally try them because I feel like I've been seeing their stuff forever. So they are a small family-owned business, and what kind of sparked this video was they came out with 31-inch inseam leggings, and I feel like I've never seen like an Instagram activewear style brand come out with a 31-inch inseam legging. Usually I'm just kind of stuck with a 7/8 style legging because most leggings are like a 25-inch inseam, and if I'm lucky, a 28-inch inseam. So I thought that was really cool that they offer a 31-inch. I think it's only in their black leggings currently, but they do have a couple different styles. I just think that's inclusive to like all heights. A lot of brands try to be inclusive to all sizes, but then just kind of forget that people are different heights too, or they just don't bother with different lengths. So they are kind of a mid to high price range. The shorts were around 50 and the leggings are like 60 to 70, which isn't really a problem as long as the leggings are high quality and long lasting for me. So I'm excited to share. We did a couple workout tests in these, and I did get their 3 main fabrics and their 3 main styles. So I'll give more details on the fabrics and the styles as we go through them. I'm kind of organizing this review by fabric because they have the Effortless, which is like their most popular, and then they have the Intensity and Resilient. So I'm gonna like group my big pile of stuff that way. And then they also have the 3 styles, which are Classic, Heart Booty, and Scrunch. They also have different styles, but those are kind of like the 3 main ones. And I also sized down in their leggings because that's what a lot of people were saying to do. So I did get extra small leggings and I got smalls in the shorts. Their sizing kind of reminded me of Lululemon, where like a 4, which is a size I wear, is really more of like an extra small. So technically I'm getting an extra small in these, but I've already like worn a couple of them and they actually fit well. So I think in general, size down. And before we start, make sure to follow me on Instagram because I'm constantly posting little mini reviews and little updates there. Occasionally I find random discount codes or sales that I post in my stories, so definitely check it out. And also subscribe if you're not already. Okay, so let's talk about the leggings. So the first fabric that I'm going to be talking about is the Effortless fabric. So this is their most popular fabric, and it's the one that's kind of most like a brushed like Lululemon Nulu style fabric, and it has like that like buttery soft like second skin type feel. It's their lightest weight, thinnest material, and for me it really gave a solid medium compression. On their website they say more of a light to medium compression, but I actually felt like it had a decent amount of hold, which I actually like. And the 2 leggings that I tried in this fabric so far both stayed up really well in my workout, so I was definitely a fan. So first, the thing I'm most excited about, the biker short set. I saw these on the website and I just had to get them. So they're made of the Effortless fabric, so they're super soft and brushed. They have a seamless waistband, but what really got me is they have no front seam, and they have side pockets. And I really like how their side pockets are kind of like very subtle and like, I don't know, they're not like a giant pocket. You can almost kind of barely see it, but it does fit a decent amount. It looks kind of small, but it did fit my phone. They're an 8-inch inseam, so they are like a true biker short. And the seams on the back are like very slightly tapered. So these are called the Effortless pocket biker shorts. They come in 3 colors. This is the color Steel, and I hope they come in more colors because I recently reviewed the Petula biker shorts, which are similar to this, but I actually felt like these were a little more flattering personally, so these are really nice. So I did work out in these and I washed them, and these ones held up really well to the wash. They do have some cat fur on them currently, so this fabric does attract a little bit of like fur and lint. It's not like crazy, but it does attract some. I always wash all of my activewear inside out and then I don't dry it. People are like, oh, you're not supposed to dry your clothes. It's like, you think with all the stuff I have that I dry my clothes? Like, is this my first time wearing leggings? No. So I washed these other leggings. I'll get into that later. Those are in a different fabric, but the bra that matches those I washed, and it kind of like started pilling a little bit. I don't know if it's really pilling, but it's like the beginnings of pilling. But the shorts I also washed, and these ones held up better. So you can kind of see with the blue fabric, it's starting like the beginnings of pilling, which is not a good sign, but it's strange because the shorts didn't really do that. And this is the shorts material after one wash. And this one looked like it held up a lot better. So I don't really know what the reason for the difference is because they are the same fabric. For the shorts, I will continue to wear these in my workouts, and I'll update you guys in my monthly Love It or Leave It video where I kind of like go through which activewear pieces like have and haven't held up for the month. So keep that in mind because I will be wearing and washing these again. So we'll see if these continue to be pill free. Anyways, let's try on the shorts first. So I just worked out in this set. The shorts were really good. The shorts were awesome. They stayed in place the whole workout. I didn't feel like they were cutting in anywhere and they didn't roll up. or fall down. So I thought they were really comfortable. I was sweating a decent amount, and the only thing was like a teeny little bit of sweat in the crotch area that actually went away pretty fast. So I would say it's pretty sweat wicking. All right, so here are the shorts, and I really, really love these. I think these are definitely my top pick from the haul. So they're an 8-inch inseam, so they definitely are a classic biker length, but I feel like they don't look like awkwardly long or anything. The material is really soft, and like I said, the ones on the shorts after washing didn't pill, so I'm hopeful that they should hold up. I am wearing a small in these. I have extra smalls in the leggings, so we can compare, but the small in the shorts feels totally fine. I definitely would not size down or up. Usually I'm a small to medium in shorts. Like I said, I really like how the pockets are kind of subtle. You can't really tell from afar that there are pockets, and they're lined with like this mesh material, but they still do totally fit my phone. This is just like an iPhone. I don't know what iPhone we're on at this point, but it's an iPhone. Overall, these actually feel like a solid medium, potentially even medium to high compression. It's definitely a higher compression around the leg area. It's actually not cutting into my thighs at the bottom. They do also have some waistband compression. It's not cutting into the waist. They do have the slightly tapered seams that do go over the glutes. So I'd actually give these a medium to high on the booty scale. They also feel pretty compressive in the thigh area. So I would say these shorts at least would be cellulite friendly. And they have no front seam, and they're really not gathering very much either. So I really, really like these shorts. Quick little sit test, because I said I would do this more consistently, and it is not cutting into me or rolling down at all. It is totally solid. So I definitely recommend these shorts. I am a huge fan. I also got the Embrace sports bra, and this one's cute because from the back it just looks like your classic strappy sports bra, but from the front it actually does have a zipper, so it's easy to get on and off. The only thing was I wish they had those little fabric flaps that went over the bottom of this part and the top, because after I was wearing it for a while it did kind of like make some red marks and it was a little uncomfortable. So I just feel like if it had the little flap at the bottom it would help a lot with comfort, because on the inside it's just the zipper like right against your skin, which isn't always the most comfortable. It's made of the same Effortless fabric, and it did a similar thing to the other fabric in the wash. It also looks kind of like the beginnings of pilling, so just keep that in mind. For the top, I'd say it fits, but it's a little irritating by the bottom of the zipper. I just wish it had like one of those little fabric coverings that kind of like protected your skin from the zipper, because it just like, you know, over time like irritates a little bit. But I literally didn't touch the zipper a single time during the whole workout, and it wasn't falling down at all, so that's good. And it's also just a little bit tight on the trap area as well, probably just due to sizing. I'd say it runs a little bit small, if anything, on the tops. So here's the bra that makes a little matching set with the shorts. So I do like a lot of things about the bra. I do like the material. It's actually probably a medium to high support. I do feel very supportive, and it also has really great coverage. It goes like pretty far into the armpits without like cutting me off. So we have no spillage, and it is like a scoop neck, but it's not like a lot of cleavage or anything. And the back is also super cute. I feel like usually when you have zip up sports bras, the backs are a little boring. So I do like the strappiness of this. I can't tell if the sports bra runs a little bit small just because it does cut into my traps a little bit over time. You can't really tell too much now, but it is just a little bit tight here. And I'm kind of coming up onto this little bottom band a little bit, so I can't really tell if it runs a little small or not. We'll compare with the other sports bras, but with just a few adjustments to the zipper, I think I would like this a lot more. And while this fabric isn't 100% sweat proof, I didn't actually notice any sweat. Usually I get like some under boob sweat. I didn't have that problem in my workout, maybe because this fabric is like a little bit thicker. So it worked out pretty well. So next we have these red VORTEX leggings. They have this really cute laser cut detail on the side. These I believe are 28 inch. They fit me like a full length. I did work out in them yesterday, and I really liked how this fabric was like thin yet a little bit compressive. These also have a cross waist. The only thing is there's like this weird little like stitching thing that connects the cross waist, which I feel like just like looked a little strange and sat on me a little weird. I'll go into that in the try on. And these do have a front seam, so let's try these on. So these are the VORTEX leggings, and I love the style of these. I think these are super fun. So these are the size extra small, and they fit basically like most other brands in a small would fit me. So I would definitely recommend sizing down. This is the Effortless fabric, so it is super soft and brushed. These ones feel like a solid medium compression. They feel a little thinner and slightly stretchier than the gray and the black. Sometimes different colors in the same fabrics are a little bit different, so I would say this one is probably on the less compression side. Still more compression than a Lulu Align. I love the little laser cut details on these, and sometimes laser cut details kind of scare me because I'm like, what if my nail goes through them? But I actually definitely put my nail through some of these when trying to get them on, and I can't even tell where I did that. There's no damage to the leggings or anything, so I do think that these are pretty durable. I did work out in these yesterday, and I was a little worried about the front seam situation because I thought it was causing problems, but every time I looked at myself in the mirror at the gym, they actually were totally fine. So I think in general, their front seams really aren't too invasive, so I wouldn't be too worried about the camel toe situation. These ones are basically a full length on me. In the back of these leggings specifically is super flattering. The waist actually goes very high in the back, higher than some of the other styles. So the seams go well above the glutes, so they are very flattering. So I would definitely say medium to high on the booty scale. This fabric also really doesn't squish your butt down or anything, so that's another plus. And I want to love this waistband because I do love a nice cross waist, but there's this weird little stitching thing that goes on here, and I feel like it just makes the little cross waist not quite lie flat on me. I'm not really sure why they included this. Maybe the cross waist was coming undone or something, but I really could do without this little seam thing because you can kind of tell it kind of creates this little I don't know, gaping region here, and then on the inside it also kind of folds. So I don't really love that about it. I feel like it kind of draws a weird amount of attention to the cross waist. The fabric is definitely thicker than a Lulu Align, but in this color it doesn't feel super compressive, so I wouldn't say that this color would be the most cellulite friendly. Overall, these do feel like nice leggings. There are just a couple little things that I would change. I do feel like this cross waist does come up nice and high, and I do feel just looking in the little camera that I am getting a nice little snatched waist appearance. Oh, we forgot to do the sit test. Guys, I keep forgetting about the sit test. And again, because these are seamless waistband and they're not overly tight, they're not cutting into my waist, rebounds nicely when I stand up. So next I got the black classic leggings in a 31-inch inseam. So I do have all my measurements below, including my actual leg inseam length, so you can compare if you're also a tall girl, if these would be a good length for you. So these are just the classic leggings, and these are just very simple, minimal seams. They have a seamless waistband, which I always like to see. They do have a front seam. They just have an extended crotch gusset, and the seams in the back are slightly contoured to enhance the glutes a little bit. So they're overall pretty simple. So let's just try these on. These are just the classic leggings, so very minimal seams. They have the seamless waistband. Overall, again, these are about a medium compression. Definitely very soft, like a Lululemon Align is, but it does have more hold and compression to it. And I would say it's also a little bit thicker, so all of the leggings in the Effortless fabric should give a little more cellulite coverage than something super thin like Lulu Align. These ones also have a front seam, and I did pull these up quite a bit, and the front seam actually is very minimally invasive, so that's good. The seams in the back do go over the glutes nicely, a nice medium to high on the booty scale, and these are the 31-inch inseams. You know, for the first time ever, I think the leggings are actually a little bit too long for me. Would you look at that? So I am tall, I am 5'9", but I do have a longer torso than legs, so usually a 28-inch inseam is perfect on me. So if you are even taller, I would definitely check these out because they are truly very long. Quick little sit test. All of their waistbands so far have been really good about not cutting into me or anything and not rolling down. So while these are just a tad long for me, I think overall the style is really nice and flattering. So we have another pair of shorts in the Effortless material. These are the heart booty shorts. So all of their heart booty styles have side pockets. They also have a high waist, and they have that kind of curved seam that goes around the glutes. Sometimes with these seams, they can kind of cut off your glutes a little bit in my opinion. So it just kind of depends on where it actually falls on me. So we'll see. These are just a 4-inch short. I tend to prefer 5 to 6-inch shorts. But another great thing about these ones is they have a waistband in the front that kind of comes down to give a little extra tummy control, and they have no front seam. So I do like that about these as well. It would be nice to see these come in maybe a biker length too, just because that's my preferred length, but I know not everyone just makes activewear just for me. So let's try these on. All right, so here are the heart booty shorts. So I really like the style of them overall. They do have some really nice waistband features. The waistband does kind of come down in the front, so you do get a little extra lower tummy control. The waistband is also seamless in the front, but it does have seams around the side in the back, which usually is to kind of help hold the leggings up. I think it would have been nice to see no seam on the side at least, because on the side is where you're going to kind of see the most like cutting into the like belly region. So I would have liked a little like seamless waistband around that part, because like usually they don't cut it in the front, so it doesn't really matter if it's seamless here for me. They do have some nice big pockets. The material is the Effortless material, so it is very soft. And so I don't really like 4-inch inseams, but I will say, first of all, this is a size small, which is kind of like my normal legging size. And they're actually really not cutting into my thighs at all. It actually feels like I do have a decent amount of space in the little thigh area here. So that is nice. Just because these are a 4-inch inseam, I know they're gonna ride up some way or another. I already kind of feel them sliding up a little bit. This is why I don't trust any 4-inch inseam shorts, but I know some people do like 4-inch inseams. So they're not a bad short, I just prefer longer inseams. And so these do have the heart booty detailing. Personally, I found their classic leggings to actually be more flattering on the booty. I'd really only give these a medium on the booty scale, because just like I thought, these seams do kind of sit over your glutes, so they kind of cut off the line of your glutes a little bit instead of being kind of like above them and offering like a lifting effect. The reason why they're called the heart booties is because they kind of do come in a little bit in this middle seam, then come out, and then they do also come in at the bottom. So they do kind of create a little heart shape. So while I do like the front of these in the waistband region, I would say these are probably my least favorite style, just because I just think the back has a lot of seams going on, and I don't necessarily think they're doing anything to enhance the glutes. Sit test, I feel like they're cutting in a little bit on the sides like I suspected. Not really in the front though. It does rebound pretty well. And lastly, I got a pair of the zebra leggings in their scrunch style. So these are also supposed to be the Effortless material, and it says it in the waistband too, but these do feel a little slightly less brushed and a little more sleek, so potentially more pill resistant. I've noticed this sometimes that with like patterned leggings, they just tend to be a little less brushed. I just filmed another review recently where that was also the case, but I'm not mad at it, because if it resists more pilling, then why not? I personally am a little bit over animal print, but I do like their zebra print just because I haven't really seen a lot of zebra prints, and their snakeskin is also nice. It's one of those like white snakeskins I feel like you can wear, like it's more of like a lifestyle piece rather than just like gym only. So the scrunch ones seem like a very similar design to just the classic, but they do have just a subtle scrunch. I'm really here or there with scrunch leggings. Usually they're not entirely my favorite. So their scrunch is really only like 2 to 3 inches at the top of the back seam, and then the rest of the back seam is just regular and not scrunched. So that might help, because sometimes scrunch leggings can feel like they're just kind of getting themselves into every little crevice and not being the most comfortable. So I'm interested to see how this is, because I do like that. And these also just have a high waist and seamless waistband. All right, so these do definitely feel like they have a little bit of that brush feeling when they're on. They do feel a little more compressive than these solid colors, potentially even a medium to high compression. So these are the scrunch leggings. Overall, they feel very similar in shape to the classic leggings. Full length, gusset crotch, seamless waistband. So the scrunch is in the back. I'm not really even sure how much you can see it on this print, but it's definitely a very subtle scrunch. I do think it does give a little more separation to the glutes, but it's not intense as a lot of scrunches, so it's more acceptable to me. Many scrunches are way too much for me, and even though this does have a scrunch, it does not feel tight at all, because it's just like a very moderate scrunch. So if you're used to scrunch leggings kind of like settling into every little crevice, this isn't going to happen with these. That being said, if you're really into scrunch leggings, this might not be enough scrunch for you, but oftentimes the front seam of scrunch leggings can cause issues, but because the scrunch kind of stops halfway through the back seam, I'm actually not getting any problems. It is lined with a white, which makes sense because this is a black and white material, but when you kind of stretch the fabric, the black does go a little bit white. So I always like to mention that, because sometimes that happens with prints, and I know that can bother some people. It's not seeming to be an issue when I bend my knees or anything. Maybe it's just like a little bit visible, but And you probably won't see me wearing like a full-on matching set of like zebra or really any animal print just because it's too much for me, but I could see myself wearing this independently. This is the Sahara bra. So all of their bras come with removable cup pads, but they keep them like in the packaging and they're like not in the bra. So it's kind of nice for transportation because sometimes when you keep the cup pads in the actual bra, they can kind of crinkle up by the time they get to you. So I do like when brands do that. So this is the Sahara bra and it's just kind of plain in the front, but I love the back style of this. It reminds me a lot of the Buff Bunny, kind of like the Catalina bra, but there's like another, I think like the old Liv bra was also shaped like this. Basically it has these two straps that connect to this like neck strap, but you can kind of move them out or in, just kind of depending on your preference, but it has a super open back, which I love. So I think I also got this in a small. Yeah, I also got this in a small, so let's see. And the fabric is very similar to the leggings where it feels a little slightly less brushed than the other Effortless fabrics. All right, so here is the zebra bra to match the leggings. And I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like the white on the zebra almost has kind of like a blue tint to me. All of their prints do look just like a little bit printed on the fabric to me, which I feel like some of them look better than others. Like I feel like the snakeskin looks really good, but I feel like their leopard, it just like, it looks a little bit off to me. And I also feel like I'm getting a similar effect onto this zebra one. Anyway, they do have a nice thick elastic on the bra band and it is staying where it should be. Sometimes these elastics come onto the actual like cup region, kind of like the gray zipper one did. So this one is doing a little bit better of a job of that. It is just a spaghetti strap and I feel like I'm not getting the most support in the world. It does actually give a good amount of compression in this region, so I don't feel like I'm like not being supported at all, but the straps aren't offering the most amount of lift. So I feel like I'm still getting like a medium compression and I just feel like my like girls are sitting a little bit low in this bra, if that makes sense. I do really love this style of back. As you can see, it's super, super open. Just something about this bra just isn't making me feel the most lifted. So I wouldn't say it's my absolute favorite. And this is another small sports bra. I don't think I could fit into anything smaller or larger. So I would say true to size for the sports bras. Okay, I feel like that was forever. We had so many things in the Effortless material, but now we're moving on to the Intensity fabric. So I only have one pair of leggings in this fabric, and these are just the Intensity classic leggings. So I'm not gonna really go over the details much because they're just the same shape as the other classic leggings I reviewed in the Effortless material. This is the Intensity fabric. This is an 80% polyester, 20% spandex, and it's their stretchiest material. And I would definitely say this is your classic sleek performance material, but it's not like shiny and cheap looking. So this is kind of my preferred performance material. So it's a medium thickness. It is a little bit thicker than the other one and it is supposed to be higher compression as well. But I did also wash these and these look brand new after I washed them. So I do think this fabric is going to be very long lasting. Here's the fabric close up and keep in mind this is after wash and it looks like, you know, good as new. And here's the inside of the fabric and the inside is actually slightly brushed. So I actually love when fabrics are like that where they're sleek on the outside but slightly brushed on the inside because it makes it really soft against your skin, but then you still get all the benefits of having a performance material. So let's try this on. So I really wanted to like these ones a lot because this fabric seems like it's going to be very nice for performance and hold up. But so I'm holding these classic Effortless leggings and these are the Intensity classic leggings. And I wish that I had this style in this fabric, if that makes sense. I assumed the classic style would be the same across fabrics, but like I definitely feel like these ones had a higher waistband. The Effortless leggings in the same style definitely had a higher waistband. They definitely came up higher. These ones, you can see it just goes like to my belly button and is more of like a mid-rise, which we all know that I like high-rise. I'm not a big mid-rise girl. And they don't come over the glutes as much, so I don't feel like they're quite as flattering on the glutes. These ones actually feel just as thin as the Effortless material, just in a different fabric, more of a sleek material. These ones would definitely be better for performance, probably also sweat wicking. There's just like something a little disappointing about the shape. And I also feel like I'm not getting as much hold in the waist. And they almost feel a little bit big on me and they're already my size down. These are already an extra small. The front seam really isn't causing any problems. I just do have a little bit of, I don't know, extra material and the waistband, as you can just see, isn't the most like snug on me. I almost feel like it's too big, which is very strange considering these are already a size down. These ones also seem shorter. I feel like these are like a 25-inch inseam. And I feel like these probably will not be your most cellulite friendly. I honestly feel like the Effortless ones would be better for cellulite. Yeah, I kind of wanted to like this pair, but I think I definitely liked the Effortless Classic better than the Intensity Classic. Sit test. And yeah, I mean, they're not really tight on my waist, so I don't know how they would cut into my waist. And I will say when I was squatting, they felt like they slid down a little bit. I don't know, these feel like a little bit slippery, slidey, may not stay up super well. So then I have the Valor sports bra, which matches those leggings, but this one is in the Effortless fabric. It's not in the Intensity fabric. And this is the one that kind of like pilled a little bit after just one wash. So that was a little disappointing. This one isn't like my favorite shape either. I do really like the open back style, and it has like a thick elastic along the bottom, so it should give a nice amount of compression and support. But I don't like when like the little boob areas are kind of like outlined with seams. I just don't think that's like the most flattering. This one also looks like a very deep V, so it's probably not gonna be really for me because it might be like a little too much like cleavage, but let's just try it on. And this one also came with the cup pads out of the bra. All of them did. All right, so here is the matching bra, and I thought there would be a little more cleavage. Like, don't get me wrong, this is like a deep V and there's definitely some cleavage, but I'm actually very covered on the sides and probably a solid medium, maybe medium to high support, depending on your cup size. Just the reason why I don't love when they have like these seams like this is like, it makes me feel like my like boob should be like in this part, but really like it extends around and then the seam just kind of cuts off the boob. So I don't love this style. I just feel like it just looks a little bit strange. I don't know, I just don't love this cutoff thing. And it also feels like it kind of squishes me this way because, oh, I actually didn't even put the cup pads in. I don't know if I could fit in with the cup pads. This one feels pretty snug. I don't feel like the cup pads are necessary. This is a size small, and I feel like for the most part, their bras are true to size / run a little bit small. So I don't want to say size up because I feel like most people could go with their normal size just because I have a bigger cup size. So sometimes things fit me a little bit differently. I do feel like overall I am more supported and lifted than the zebra print bra. I am definitely getting some lift from these straps. They're nice and thick, and I don't feel like this is uncomfortable or tight anywhere. The back is really cute. It is nice and open. All of their bras have actually had pretty nice open backs, so I like that. And I feel like I'm going to be held in really well. Everything seems to be in place. I just don't really love this little seam thing. Peach, are you too tired to help me film today? You too tired? Look at those little blue eyes. Look at those blue eyes. Yeah, you're such a sweetie. You're such a sweetie. And lastly, I just have one pair of leggings in the Resilient fabric. This fabric is 87% nylon, 13% spandex. And this is their OG material, and they say it's best for like heavy weight workouts. This one isn't brushed. I'm still trying to find a descriptor for this style of material, but basically it kind of feels like that classic Lululemon Luon type fabric where it's kind of in between being brushed and performance, but it pills less than a brush material, but it's still soft, but it's not fuzzy. It's hard to describe. If anyone has any suggestions for how I should be describing this material, please let a girl know. Always looking to improve my reviews. So these are scrunch leggings, just like the last one. The scrunch is just at the top kind of half of the back seam and then not on the bottom half. They do have a front seam and an extended crotch gusset. And if you've tried this material in the past, they say on the website that they have updated the material, so it is supposed to be a little softer and stretchier than it was before, but it still is their thickest, highest compression material and should be their most durable as well. I would think that the Intensity material would be the most durable, but we'll see. All right, let's try this one on. So I feel like I have some mixed feelings on these. They don't feel quite as high as the Effortless leggings, but they do feel a little bit higher than the last leggings we tried. I feel like the front seam is a little more invasive, but I don't feel like it's unwearable. They do have the extended crotch gusset, and these are basically to my ankle. In the material, it's definitely like Lululemon Luon style material, except maybe a little bit heavier. This is definitely probably like a warmer weather winter style legging, not like a lightweight summer legging. But I don't feel like it's like super compressive. I'd still only give it a medium compression. It has the same scrunch, and it's a very subtle scrunch. Honestly, I feel like even if people looked at you, they wouldn't be like, oh my gosh, she's wearing a scrunch legging. They kind of just be like, oh, you know, it looks like she just has some cheek separation. So I do think that their scrunches are nice and like moderate. This fabric is a marled material and a little thicker, so I think that these ones will probably give you the most cellulite coverage, and it doesn't feel like the most sweat wicking of the fabrics, probably the least sweat wicking. It just is a little bit thicker, and I can't imagine it would like dry off quite as fast as like the Effortless or the other one. If you can't tell, I've forgotten the names already. This one just feels a little bit heavy. Again, I'm not getting like as much like waistband snatching as the Effortless. So yeah, I definitely think that my favorite are the Effortless. But some people in this style of leggings do get that kind of like almost itchy type feeling. So if you're prone to that kind of feeling, I would go with either the other two fabrics because they're both brushed on the inside and these ones are not brushed. So just keep that in mind. And the last sit test, looking good. Not really any problems. And stand up and we're all set. So we're officially done with the try-on. I am tired of trying on leggings. It's been a long weekend of legging try-ons for me. So I think there were definitely some hits and misses. Since this is a more expensive brand, you really want to love the leggings if you're gonna like dive into them. I think the shorts were awesome. Definitely the #1 thing from this video. I really didn't have many negative things to say about them. I would definitely buy them in more colors. I also really liked the VORTEX leggings. I loved that cross waist. Sometimes the eyelets are a little too much for me. I would love to see them come out with a cross waist with the rest of the leggings being more simple. And everyone told me that the Effortless fabric was the best. And I do agree that I did like the Effortless fabric the best. I'm still concerned about some potential pilling, so make sure to check in with my love it or leave it videos in the future because I will keep you guys updated if there's anything notable, if anything changes with that. I was a little bummed with the last two pairs of the leggings. I just felt like they didn't really like fit me perfectly. They just weren't snatching in the waist quite as much as I would like. So yeah, that is it for the video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed my brutally honest, in-depth reviews, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more. And again, follow me on Instagram for more content that I can't fit here on the YouTubes. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!